Americans are shocked when the Pentagon admits a massive high-altitude Chinese surveillance balloon was able to enter US airspace unhindered.
Does it scare you at all?
Yeah, of course.
It was just as crazy of a reaction as if it had been something from out of this world.
It drifts for days across the continent before being shot down by US fighters off the coast of South Carolina.
They shot it!
But 6 days later, it happens again. Around 1:45 Eastern Time, Friday the 10th of February, the first of 3 objects that are still unexplained is shot down by US fighters near the town of Deadhorse in northern Alaska. A massive air and ground search begins. Within hours of the shoot-down, the White House National Security spokesman admits they have no idea what the object was.
We're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now. We do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know.
These incursions keep on happening. A second cylindrical object is shot down over Canada's Yukon the next day, February the 11th. And on the 12th, the third, this time octagonal object, was downed over Lake Huron near Michigan. And now, a News Nation exclusive. 3 sources tell me there was an earlier, publicly undisclosed incident over the Arctic Circle on the 1st of February, 3 days before the Chinese balloon shoot-down. These defence and intelligence sources revealing to News Nation 8 or 9 UAPs were detected over the Arctic Circle and that fighter jets were sent up in what was an unsuccessful attempt to intercept them. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence Christopher Mellon has independently confirmed the same story.
Fighter jets were deployed from NORAD to engage with those objects and that they were seen to manoeuvre away, apparently at high speed. Have you heard those allegations? I've heard it now from 3 different people.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, and from an individual who would have plausible reason to know. But this really speaks to a much larger issue, which is the lack of information from the Air Force about UAP generally.
In response to questions from News Nation, the Pentagon referred us to NORAD, who deny the allegations that fighter jets were scrambled to intercept UAPs. NORAD does say it had aircraft flying in the area, returning to home bases as part of a training operation. News Nation is also being told by sources that the object the US shot down over Alaska on February the 10th was also anomalous. There's been silence for over 8 months on these shoot-downs, though in February the White House assured the public it was confident the Alaska object debris would be recovered.
It fell not only within our territorial space, but on what we believe is frozen water. So a recovery effort will be made.
Find the object, the pieces of the object they shot down?
No, ma'am, they did not. In fact, it's a continuing mystery. 6 months on, the public's been told nothing. We've been told that they didn't find anything, even though the New York Times and other institutions were reporting at the time that the sea ice was frozen and that it was quite clear, there was very clear open conditions that day. The conditions were perfect for recovery. And moreover, it was reported in media that there was something anomalous about the Alaska object in particular, that somehow it remotely interfered.
Like, what? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Meaning what? Anomalous
That's
how?
all right. No, I mean, there were reports that the Alaska object somehow remotely interfered with the sensor systems of the US fighter jets that tried to intercept it. And this is an ongoing mystery, Elizabeth. We just don't know, and I think the public's got a right to know what happened, and the Pentagon has indicated it's soon about to start releasing some of the shoot-down vision. because this was an unprecedented incident. For the first time in 65 years, NORAD used lethal force to engage a UAP over American airspace.
Yeah, and we just had a Pentagon briefing a few days ago on UFOs, or UAPs as they call them now, saying we're going to be more transparent and share more. And you've got a lot of questions here, and we have no answers. All right.
It is really quite extraordinary. I mean, I just find it amazing that we don't know the answers to what happened in February, and I think the public's got every right to know.